Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1294. Tonight we have our special guest, Nicole, back. It's the second Tuesday of the month. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Now, I do have to admit something, which I think I probably screwed up on a little bit, in the fact that when I did the scheduling for this podcast, I accidentally had it on Mountain Time and not Pacific Time. So for those of you in the Pacific that got on time, my apology. If everybody who got on time on Mountain Time, I apologize for the delay. It's been one of those days.
Some days are like that.
Do you know what I have been doing today? I've been having some fun today.
You have?
Have you ever heard of a thing called cruising ducks?
No, what is cruising ducks?
Cruising ducks is where you take... I actually have a rubber duck. You take
it sounds like a video game.
No. This is when you're on a cruise. You have a rubber duck.
Okay.
Now, this is my personal one, and the ones I've got coming are smaller. You take one of these with a tag, and you can get pre-printed tags that you just fill in. You put like your first name on there, where you're from, the cruise ship that you're on, the dates of the cruise. And then on this one, I can put a little message, personalized message on the back, and a hashtag for them to take a picture of themselves with the duck. And you hide them on the ship in public places. And so they get a little tag on them, and you hide them on the ships. And when people find them, it says, "Oh, what luck, you found a duck." Keep or hide, you decide. Public places only, no pools, spas, or shops. And then take a selfie and post it to a social media using, and then you write in the name of the hashtag that you want them to use.
How fun is that?
And you just hide them on the ship, and people go find them. People either collect them, or they'll take a picture with it, post it, and then go rehide them.
And then rehide it.
Yeah. Or some people may even take the duck from that ship and go hide it on another ship somewhere else in the world with the same tag. Well, they'll change the tag out, but they may use the same hashtag. I don't know. But how cool is that?
That's really fun.
And you can get tags that are for memorials for those that have passed, the memorial of. You can get tags for awareness of different causes. So I've been sitting here filling them out and putting these little rubber bands on, and my ducks arrive tomorrow, and they're sparkly.
And my ducks arrive tomorrow.
And they're sparkles. They got glitter in them.
Of course they do.
The coolest idea.
Of course your ducks have sparkles.
Of course. Why would they not? And then, of course, on the back, it's got to have a super fantastic sparkling day with a little smiley face.
You need to just have that printed on a stamp so you can just stamp.
I'm figuring that one out as I go along.
Yeah. Or like little labels that you could put on something, because that's long to write out.
Yes. And then one of the things that they say that you're not allowed to do is to advertise. So, yes, I'm sort of like, we'll figure out a way to get around that one.
Right. I'm sure.
But welcome. Let's get on to today's. Now, you told me that tonight's topic was going to be talking about a love hormone, and we have a love hormone?
We do have a love hormone. So
the things you learn on Valentine's Day.
Right? So we produce something called oxytocin. And it's been nicknamed as the love hormone, or sometimes the cuddle hormone. All right. So it's one of the most important hormones that we produce because it plays a real key role in like social bonding, building relationships, reproduction, childbirth, and even breastfeeding, believe it or not.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty cool, right?
It's a happy hormone.
It's a happy hormone. So it's actually produced in the hypothalamus, which is in your brain. And it's actually controlled, like referred to as our control center. Mm-hmm. And it's usually released by our pituitary gland. And so if you don't know where your pituitary gland is, if you take your finger and you put it in the top of your head, and then you take your finger and put it like in the side here, where those two fingers meet is where your pituitary gland is, right smack dab in the middle of your brain. And our pituitary gland is really important. It works with our adrenal glands and it works with our thyroid. So most people know thyroid. If you don't know where your thyroid is, it's behind here in your throat and it's like shaped like a little butterfly. and I just showed you where your pituitary is, and then you have adrenal glands, and
They're on top of your kidneys.
and that is right on top of your kidney. Exactly.
I know that one.
So, but the oxytocin is, like I said, it's produced and released into your bloodstream and into your brain and your spinal cord from your pituitary gland helps do that. Okay. And so what it does is it binds these oxytocin receptors and it influences how we feel and behave towards others, believe it or not. So a lot of people think that oxytocin is like a feminine hormone, but men produce oxytocin as well. So
is that when you get that kind of chemistry reaction between two people? Was that involved with that?
Sometimes, yeah. So the reason it's called the love hormone is it's responsible for social bonding and guess what? Sexual pleasure. So, but it also makes us feel safe. It helps us feel happy. It helps us feel connected. And then it helps release other feel-good hormones. So dopamine and serotonin as well. So the three of them, oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, all work hand in hand together. All right.
And it makes you happy.
It makes you happy. So
and happy people don't kill if you watch Legally Blonde.
It's kind of similarities to like endorphins, because the more we release, the better we actually, like, our stress and our pain goes down. Right. And it makes us feel, ever have those days where you just feel like super generous, or you're like, oh, I can forgive anybody today, or you just feel a lot of joy. Well, you feel a lot of joy almost every day. Your oxytocin is flowing. But there's days that you actually feel like a little bit more generous or a little bit more secure.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, those are the days when your oxytocin is really like flowing, and we want that to happen. We want this to work naturally because it's so healthy for us to have that oxytocin. So oftentimes, I said breastfeeding, which sounds kind of funny, but oftentimes when mothers are bonding with their babies, this is how the connection between the two of them is formed, is with this feeling of, completeness, togetherness, safety, right? And so, and the other good thing is it really helps boost our ability to cope with stress, which is kind of cool, right? And then here's something really cool for those of us that are not breastfeeding anymore. Research is starting to show us, right? Research is starting to show us that oxytocin has anti-aging and anti-obesity effects as well. The higher the oxytocin release, it's linked with aging and better regeneration of our stem cells, including our muscle cells. So that's pretty cool. So
that is pretty cool. I need to get more sparkly and happier.
So let me tell you some ways that you can actually boost your oxytocin levels.
Oh, yes. How can we do that?
Yeah, because this is really kind of fun. Physical contact, such as hugs, massages, or just being intimate, or even just shaking hands with somebody. Interesting, right? You shake hands with somebody.
No, I just got my because I have 2 love languages that are at the same level at the top there. One is words of affirmation and the other one is physical touch. Yeah. And physical touch gets very dry very quickly. But this weekend it got a boost because I was at a family wedding. So lots of hugs, and I got grandma time with one of my grandsons. So I got to sit on the plane with him, hugging him for a bit. So
and you probably felt really good.
I did. I always feel good around family and around the grandkids, and yeah. So my physical touch love tank got filled up this weekend.
So you're gonna love this one because you are an oil girl, right? Yes. Essential oils such as like clary sage really encourages the production of your love hormone.
Clary sage is also good for women's problems too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It all ties hand in hand, right?
Yep.
Making eye contact with people. That's a really big one. So the more eye contact you have, the more your oxytocin levels go. Laughing.
Does it work on dogs? Like if you make eye contact with your dog?
Nobody's ever asked me that, but I assume why not? Right?
Why not?
Because Laughing, everybody knows that I laugh a lot. So you saw a video of me today laughing, probably, uh, right? And so
Oh, that was on
laughing,
your cooking show.
it is.
So if
It is.
anybody wants, I'm going to do a little sidebar here. So if anybody wants to see a really fun cooking show, you have to go and check out Nicole's new cook. What's it called again?
It's called Good Vibes Cooking Show, and it's on YouTube.
Yes, Good Vibes Cooking Show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nicole and Andrew do a fantastic job on their cooking show, and I've seen the blooper reel. It was hilarious.
Yeah, we laugh a lot. So laughing boosts your oxytocin. Giving and receiving gifts.
Oh, I like to give gifts.
Because when you give gifts, you feel good. And when you receive gifts. And by the way, thank you for my half birthday card. So that made me feel awesome. That just anytime you get something in the mail, it just makes you feel better and feel good. And somebody's thinking of me. And people don't expect to get a half birthday card. So that's kind of cool. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Sharing a meal together. So when you share meals together, you automatically usually bond together, right? And so that boosts your oxytocin. You're going to love this one. Zeffy's going to love me for this one. Petting your dog or cat. Or if you don't have a dog or a cat, guess what? Borrow your friend's dog or cat. So oftentimes they have therapy dogs in hospitals and whatever. And it's so good. Like if you have like my business partner, Andrew, he doesn't have any animals, but oh my goodness, the cats or the dogs. And, he comes over and he gets his fix of an animal. My husband has this idea of like renting a pet for like an hour or two for people, but that would boost their oxytocin levels for people who don't want the commitment or don't have time for a commitment of a dog, but they need the love from an animal. He thinks
there are actually snuggle therapists as well. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can actually you can actually go to somebody's place and you pay them just to snuggle.
Right. And that will boost your oxytocin. So meditation or visualization.
Like that. That's the morning practice.
And then here's something, telling somebody you love them. That always makes us feel good. Right. Listening to calming music. And how about this one? So this is like, I just had the best conversation with one of my dearest friends, and she lives in Chicago. So what do? We have a great conversation. We spend an hour and we're on the phone because we can't necessarily see each other. But sometimes we even do video dates because we live in 2 different cities.
I do video dates with my mom and dad because we're in 2 different countries.
There you go. Walking or exercising with someone. Instead of just doing it by yourself, take a walk with somebody because that will boost your oxytocin. And then one of my favorite things and one of the easiest things that we can do, this is where our Facebook and our social media is great for us. Looking at photos or videos of people that you care about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, on Facebook, you can go through somebody's album. Sometimes I go through my daughter's album, not to be like nosy, but because all my grandkids are in there and she takes these pictures and it just makes me so happy to look at the pictures of my grandkids. Mm-hmm. So I love going through somebody's pictures, or if they just went on a vacation and you're happy for them or whatever, right? This is a good, thing to do. So often people ask me if there's food, like does food have oxytocin in it? No, unfortunately, there's no.
Because I always feel good when I eat chocolate.
Well, there's aphrodisiac foods, and such as there's oysters and fish and avocados.
Oysters. Crack open the shell and slop it down.
Basils, chocolate, those are things that those are aphrodisiac foods. And so, so that will kind of boost your mood and your desire for connection, but it's that will lead to a higher release of oxytocin, but the food doesn't actually have in it,
Okay.
Yeah.
But it will still when I eat chocolate.
There you go. There you go. But it's so good for our bodies. And here's the thing, when our oxytocin levels are up, we actually lose weight faster when we're happier.
That would also become cortisol blockers then, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. When your oxytocin is going, your cortisol is not all over the place, right? And so it's those cortisol spikes that help with weight loss, weight resistance. And so, so when you keep your oxytocin boosted, then you lose weight faster. You're just a happier person. You feel more connected to people, which is amazing. So, and it's Valentine's Day. So what a perfect day to talk about this. Because you can be connected, whether you have a partner or not, you can be connected and love yourself as well. Right. And so, and here's the thing, oxytocin they don't talk about it a lot, but it does help with depression as well. So, when you're down in the dumps, if you're just having one of those days where, we've all had them, right? Where everything is, I don't want to use the word bad, but you're just having one of those blue days, you're missing somebody that you've lost, or, things aren't going the way you have, or, that you want. We've all had depressed days for whatever reason. Sometimes we just wake up like that. It's always good to like snuggle with a pet, look at those pictures, cuddle up with somebody. If you have somebody to cuddle up with, give somebody a hug. Those things just make us naturally feel better and can help pull us out of depression as well. So there you have it.
Love it. Because when you're going to this, I go, yes, I do that. Yes, I did. No, I can't do that one. Yes, I can do that one. I can't do that one. All the ones involving other people. Nope. Oh, anyone's involving pets? Yes. We can go walking together. Yes. We're going for a walk after this in the rain.
There you go.
And I love to dance in the rain.
I know I got a little caught in the rain tonight. So
did you do a dance in the rain?
I have not yet, because I ran in here really fast so I could hop on there with you. But my husband and I are going to go out to dinner, so maybe we'll have a dance in the rain. And I came home to some beautiful red roses in a vase. So
nice.
Really a nice surprise. So see, that boosts my oxytocin. And then what happens when your oxytocin is boosted is you want to do things for other people and be around other people. And it creates this happiness and just bonding moments with people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
totally understand that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to going out outside. And I've said to Zephyr, you might get wet tonight because it's raining. And she hates getting wet. But me, I just go, and I get to put my polka dot gum boots on, my little ankle rubber boots.
Oh, how funny is that?
In the puddles.
How funny is that? They're cute.
But I like that because I had never heard of that hormone before. And didn't realize we had a happy love hormone. I
was trying to, when we said, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, oh, let's talk about oxytocin. And so one of the things in our program, we always tell people, we have a couple different programs. And one of them is, obviously, it's a 6-month program to help restore your health. And so we talk about oxytocin a lot because we want people, when you're starting, especially something new and something that's a program that's 4, 5, 6 months long, change is hard for people. So, when we're changing lifestyles, we're changing diets, we're changing how people think about food, right? We want people to think about food as nutrition and how to get the most nutrition into our bodies and still eat and enjoy our food and all that yummy stuff, right? So we talk to them quite a bit about oxytocin. And so that's why I was like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. Let's talk about the love hormone.
Well, until you mentioned it, like I said, I'd never heard of it before. Pituitary gland, hypothalamus,
the hypothalamus is what.
Yeah, that thing I know about that too.
Yeah, that's what helps create it, and then the pituitary gland helps release it into your blood and into your system. So it's pretty amazing.
All I know about the brain is it's grey mushy stuff.
Oh, do you want to know what the brain really is?
What? Not grey mushy stuff.
It's cholesterol.
Seriously?
Your brain is 25 to 30% cholesterol. So all that fatty stuff in there, that's all cholesterol. And you need good cholesterol. Moose is saying hi tonight. You need that good, that's the good cholesterol. That's the cholesterol that helps run your body. And people don't realize that there's cholesterol in their brains. And they're discovering now that if you don't have high amounts of cholesterol in your brain, then it really affects you when you're older with dementia, Alzheimer's.
Interesting. And I just thought it was grey mushy stuff.
Yeah, everybody thinks of it as like a mass or a gray, and you see the pictures of the squiggly lines, and everything. Yeah. But yeah, our brain is 25 to 30% cholesterol.
Wow. So see, and that's the good cholesterol stuff.
I got to teach you 2 things tonight. Your brain is
about love hormones, and our brain is full of cholesterol.
and it's good. We want you to have. So here's the thing. Let's talk about. I'm just going down a rabbit hole tonight. So with the cholesterol, so many people are so afraid to have high cholesterol, And so oftentimes, as you know, I'm a functional blood specialist. And when we look at cholesterol levels on the functional level, we look to see, is this because you're stuffing your mouth with like, Burger King and donuts and, whatever fast food 3 to 4 times a day? Or is something else going on in your body? So oftentimes doctors just put cholesterol with sugar. And yes, cholesterol can be because of glucose in your body, but oftentimes cholesterol can be high because your hormones, such as your pituitary and your adrenal gland and your thyroid, aren't working as well as they should. Or it can actually be because you have an infection. You might have an underlying infection. So sometimes when you have underlying infections, your cholesterol will go up, and doctors don't always address that. They just address cholesterol as in you need to stop eating fatty foods and you need to eat good fats. And a lot of people don't even know what good fats are, right? They're like, oh, I eat lots of good fats. I ate some Twinkies and I ate and I ate that chocolate cake. And then I had that potato and loaded with cheese. I eat plenty of yummy good fats. And so, we teach them about avocados and the good oils. And
I love avocado on toast is one of my favorite things.
Avocado toast is very yummy. So,
yes, especially if it's sourdough bread. I love sourdough bread.
And olives are good in fat. You don't like olives?
Okay, so here's going back to being a teenager. My teenage years, I had never had olives in my life until about when I was 14, 15. And we were at a church potluck lunch after the church service, and I saw the salad there that had grapes in it, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So of course I put this thing on my thing, and I'm busy eating this thing, and I put this thing in my mouth, which I think is a red grape, and it was an olive. Oh my gosh, that was so disgusting.
Because you were expecting a grape and you got an olive.
So then fast forward a few years. One of my boys is very picky. It was at the time was extremely picky about what he ate. So we were challenging him to do something. We were in a restaurant and they had a salad bar. So we were challenging him to try something new on the salad bar. And I said, if you try something new and you eat it all, and we told him how much he had to take to make it count. I said, I will eat some sliced olives.
And
I had to eat olives because he knew I absolutely hated them.
So you're not having like a dry martini with a blue cheese stuffed olive in it?
Blue cheese, I don't mind. I like blue cheese.
Maybe I can eat that olive if there's blue cheese stuffed in it.
But no to the olives. Absolutely not. And I don't drink anyway, so it would be a virgin martini, and I'm not even sure if they even make those. But
I don't think they make those.
No.
But they
Can I have a dirty virgin martini?
So when you're on the cruise next week, you go ahead and ask them if they make a virgin and they'll martini, and they'll go, oh boy, this woman really needs to have a drink. That's funny.
I just stick to my water, and when I'm on a cruise, for some reason when I'm on a cruise, I have to have cranberry juice at dinner time.
There you go.
Usually I just drink water all the time except for my tea in the morning. But when I'm on a cruise ship, for some reason at dinner time, I have to have cranberry juice.
There you go. You associate cruise with cranberry juice.
Yep.
So because it's available.
Before I get on a plane, so I can read the paperback while on the plane, because I can't read e-readers on the plane. Don't know why. It's just one of those things. But then the cool part is when you get interrupted by your grandson.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. I love how we went from oxytocin to gray matter in the brain to
gray smushy stuff.
To olives to our grandkids. So, and our grandkids make us so happy, which guess what? Boost our oxytocin.
See, we started off laughing.
Exactly. And we started off laughing. We had some music going on. We had a few technical difficulties with microphones. So we did.
It was funny. We're trying to work out. Nicole comes back on after resetting her computer or whatever to get the microphone working. And so I go to click the button to add her on the view here. And all of a sudden, Cyndi Lauper starts singing. And I'm like, where the hell's it coming from? So it's all been, so we're all full of this oxytocin and we're good and ready to go.
Exactly. And since you always have a super sparkly day, we know that you're always working on your oxytocin. But
Absolutely. Anything and everything. There's days that I'm not, the sparkle isn't as shiny as it should
you
be.
see me being pulled like, oh my goodness. I wish you could see my puppy. So he walks over and he hands me a toy and he wants me to play with him. And then all of a sudden he's playing tug of war. So I'm like in the video. and he's a happy dog.
Well, Ziffy was just, so if you saw me leaning like this before, it's because Ziffy was standing next to me and she wanted to scratch us.
There you go.
So we get oxytocin all over the place all day, every day. So we're happy people.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, and I got my physical touch tank filled this weekend with all the hugs I got from friends and family, and all the cuddles from my 10-month-old grandson while on a plane. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise to find out that my middle son, daughter-in-law, and their nanny and my 10-month-old grandson were on the plane with me, and they were 2 rows behind me. At one point, my son comes over and says, "You want?" And I'm like, "Give him here,
baby. Hand me the baby."
And then the lady sitting next to me in the middle seat, I was sitting in the window seat. I looked at her and I said, "Oh, this is my grandson Benjamin. He's 10 months old." And she goes, "I thought he was about then." She said, "He looks about the same size as my 10-month-old grandson that we've just left," because they've been in Tampa visiting the family. And but that was a lot of fun, and he was awake and playing and lots of smiles, and yeah, it was good.
There you go.
I love grandkid hugs, and
I wish we could sometime just skip the grandkids. The grandma club is awesome.
The grandma club is amazing.
Yeah, the grandma club is amazing. Well, and grandpa. We might have grandpas watching.
Oh yes, grandpas too.
Grandpas too, but that
grandpa. I only have experience of being a grandma.
I know, me too. But it's a pretty special club.
But my husband, he absolutely loved being a grandfather. He loved it. It was one of his biggest regrets. Is at the time we only had the one grandson, and his biggest regret was he would never get to see his grandchildren grow up. Mm-hmm. That was his. But he absolutely loved being a grandfather. Absolutely loved it. He loved the times that we got to have Dharmic when we looked after Dharmic for one day a week. He loved those times, and him and Dharmic would just sit there in the recliner together, fall asleep together, and they just had a very, very special bond. And
they had oxytocin flowing between them.
Oh yeah, and I was getting the oxytocin going too, because I was just enjoying the view of a grandfather and his grandson, and the play that they would have together, and the interactions and things. So it's always good, and I love seeing parents with playing with their kids, and grandparents coming in and playing with the kids as well, aunts and uncles getting there and playing with the kids, just being part of a family community where you are helping nurture and support and love children. And I just love seeing those. And yeah,
pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we are at the top of the hour, and it's time for us to depart for the day, because I have a puppy dog that is giving me a look to say I need to go for a walk.
There you go. And I have
rain
a date
or no
with
rain,
my husband
I want to go
tonight.
for a walk. Sorry?
There you go. And I have a date with my husband tonight. So
you do. So whatever you are doing this evening, go out and have a super fun time. Well, first of all, Nicole, thank you very much for being on.
He surprised me, actually. He did. He surprised me. So we are going out to a restaurant that started part of our love story. And so
nice.
So he asked me if I wanted to go there the other night, and I was like, absolutely. So so it's nice. But I thank you for having me on. I love being on your
always a pleasure. We love having you back every month. We'll have to figure out next month's topic. It'll be the 14th then as well.
Next month is what, March 14th?
From March 14th. I like February, March when there's no leap year in the place, because February. In fact, I was getting confused because I was filling out these little cards, and I don't know if you can see on this one, it says March 20th to 25th instead of February 20th to 25th. So I can't use these two. So I might have to go on a cruise on the 20th and 25th so I can use them.
There you go. Well, we will come up with a great topic. I don't know what it's going to be, but we will come up with a great topic, and I can't wait to, talk with everybody again and see you, and, we'll go from there. So
I've got lots of ideas floating around in my head. So we shall have a discussion.
There you go. And I hope everybody has a fantastic the Valentine's night, the rest of the evening. If you don't have a loved one with you or a pet with you, that's a loved one to me as well. Be good to yourself and love yourself, and do something nice for yourself tonight.
Yep. We've got our nice dinner tonight. We're having tomato basil bisque. And I'm still debating whether or not I'll do a grilled cheese sandwich to go with it.
There you go.
All
right. Till next month.
So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us this evening. Remember to check out the new show, what was it again? The Cooking with Vibes? Cooking.
Good. On YouTube, it's Good Vibes Cooking Show.
Good Vibes Cooking Show. Go check it out because it is fantastic. You will learn a lot about food and cooking and just have fun, and it'll get the oxytocin flowing freely. So whatever
Look at the blooper reel, you guys you'll get some good laughs.
I tell you, their blooper reel, it was awesome. I had tears coming down my face. I was laughing so hard. That's the surplus oxytocin just oozing out. I call them sparkles of love, though. But everybody have a super fantastic, sparkling Valentine's evening. Go out and enjoy it. Love on yourself if you're by yourself. Zeffie's got a bark box to open. We actually have 3 bark boxes to open, but we're going to only open the little one tonight because she doesn't have time to open all 3 because she goes back to the sitters on Friday so I can go on the cruise next week. So anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here around 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow evening. Hei konera.